All right, take two. Hey guys, welcome back. This is the bike video for the new bike that I purchased. As you can see in the background, there's my MT800. That is an ADV bike that I've only put 110 miles on, but I'm going to sell it. And because I've purchased a new bike, not that it's not, I'm not going to have two bikes, because I would probably get another Harley in the future, but I just don't see myself going off-road anymore now with, the medical issues that I had recently. I'm fine now. I don't know, it kind of scares me a little bit, being out in the middle of nowhere and what if, that feeling will probably wear off over time and I'll become invincible again and want to do something, but who knows, we'll see. So anyway, that's that bike. And now, before I reveal the new one, I did a lot of research and I didn't want to get another Harley, just not yet anyway. So I did a lot of looking and I did a lot of, consulting of the Oracle, YouTube, and research. And then I went shopping in the dealerships. And the one that I really liked the most and that came up the most as a cruiser, like one of the best on the planet, is the bike I have in front of me. So without further ado, here she is. And I'll tell you about what I paid for it and all that other stuff as we get into the video, but here you go. This is a 2021 BMW R1250 RT. It came with the trunk, which many of you know if you've had this bike is a $1,600 installed option. I've got the little dolly there so I can move it around in the garage, make room for my car. So the previous owner was a retired Marine. He had it down here in Arizona. He only rode it when he was down here visiting, and only put 3,700 miles on it. Just a little over 3,700 miles. It's a 21, like I mentioned. It is absolutely flawless. There isn't even bug guts up on the front. Now there is some in the in the interchange cooler, but it's absolutely spotless. Has the trunk light. It is keyed to the bike, and it is included in the auto locks. If you're familiar with this bike, it has auto locks. So what that does is it locks all of your compartments. It will lock your trunk. So like now I can unlock it, but if we go up here and we push this, it won't open. And you lift this up, and this will come down. It's got a nice little pulley system on it. These are great. I've already ordered the travel bags that fit into this trunk, or side bag I should say. Pannier, for those of you who want to be particular. It has a fender that will raise and lower, so like if you're riding in wet weather, you can lower this down a little further. I think it's about 4 inches, so about that much more you can lower it down. He put the little red reflectors on it, or sorry, blue, so it looks more like a cop bike. These are what the police use pretty much all around the world because they are super fast. They are very nimble. I don't know if you've ever seen any videos, but these guys can like turn on a dime through these cone courses that they do. In any case, it does have the automatic trunk, and the trunk does have a light, if you can see my hand light up there. So it has a nice little light in here. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do in a future video, you can see that this is double lined. So there are two walls here, so the outer wall and the inner wall. I'm going to try and figure out if I can get this inner lining off. It's got a bunch of screws here. I'm going to fart around with it, because what I'd like to do, this one's riveted, and these are screws. And this is how you take it off right here. You've got a little release. It latches in down below, and then you turn this to lock it in. What I'd like to do is I'd like to install either up here and connect it to the 12 volt electrical that is in here, both for the light and for the electronic locks. So I know there's 12 volt in here. I'd like to install a little 12 volt charger, something like this. So you've got, get that stuck in there now. There we go. Just your little, typical 12 volt. This one's USB-C, 2 of those and a USB. And then you got the little button where you can turn on and see the voltage. But stick that in something like this and have that mounted right here. So I can plug in my GoPros, my my drone, whatever, and the helmets. All the helmets have the cardio walkies on them, so we can talk to each other. So I can charge those in here while they're in here by just having this little thing mounted right here. So that's going to be an ordeal on that install, as well as on the same note, if I can do that, what I'll do is I'll run another cord underneath over here, down to here, and I'll drill through, and I will mount this under here. Where would I put it? Somewhere under here, like this, so that the backseat passenger has USB to plug in their phone or whatever they want to do there. So that's something I'm going to do in an upcoming video. I don't know if you can see on the floor over there, but I already have the crash bars for the front of the engine, wrap around there, and then the crash bars to protect the panniers in the back. And I went with the, I don't know if you can tell, but I went with the larger one, so that I can mount like a cup holder on either side for the rear passenger. Also, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this because these are the cheap ones from Amazon. They're China, they're made in China. But they look the exact same. The finish is really nice on these. I know you can see that barely, but the finish is really nice on them. The welds look really good. I was looking at those, being a welder. I was looking at those the other night. They look really good. They are on Amazon. You can get them for front and back for $280. If you go with aluminum or one of the other brands, just the front two are like $550. Then you add like $430, I think it was, for the back ones. But the back ones are really small. They're just like little tiny loops like this. So they don't have the bigger thing that comes up towards the top where I can mount the cup holder or a cubby hole or whatever for a backseat passenger on long cruises. So I will do those in 2 separate videos, front and back, because the front ones are going to be a big pain in the ass. You have to take off all of this plastic, this plastic here, and then you have to get, you have to take the lights off to get up in here, and the light remounts on that other hole that's on the mount there. So that's a big ordeal. Another thing that I have coming that I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the pipe, which goes into a catalytic converter under here, and then into quiet pipes. I'm going to replace all of that with a single system. And let's see what else. I've got some, little plugs coming to hide stuff like that. Little trinkets. Oh, I know. So I've got 2 different mounts coming for the front. So I can mount a camera mount or a phone mount on here. I have also ordered, I don't know if you can see the back of these, but somewhere, I think it's this one. So this will come off, and there's a new mount that goes on top of that that has a secondary rear view mirror mount, and then I can mount a holder on that as well, a universal holder, very similar to the one I have on the other bike here. kind of like how you have the mount for the mirror, you can also mount a, you know, a multifunction type holder. And for the ones that come out of the steering arm, I can mount that type of phone holder. It's a little knob that comes out of this and just stops, like, you know, it only comes out about 1 inch, and then you can mount something on top of that on both sides. This is BMW's proprietary 12 volt connector. I've got nothing that can go in it. I can buy an adapter for it, but the adapter sticks out like 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie into this electrical system, and I'm going to mount a new one in what normally would be the speakers, which I don't need. We listen to that through our helmets. There we go. So that was normally where your little 3-inch speaker would mount, but this is, there we go. The top part here, this top part is fairly flat in one area about right here. So I can mount that, that little 12 volt mount that I showed you in the back. And I could put one here, and I could put one over here. I'll probably just have the one, because that's really all I need. I don't want to mess up too much of the bike. I could mount it right here as well, right above this, which would make it really easy. But then I've got cords, you know, coming around the front of the bike here. I don't really want to do that. I mean, sure, I could tuck them up underneath here and here. This is a, damn bug, get away from me. This is a phone mount, but remember, this is a 2021, so phone sizes back then were not bad. I've got my flashlight in there right now, but I'm gonna take that out and I'll show you what I mean. This is my iPhone 15. It won't even get past the front part of it there, but there is a nice little USB plug in there that you can see, so I can utilize that as well for additional power. What's nice is I always like to carry a flashlight. You never know when you need one. There's this little release here that locks your phone in. So if I release that, it holds my flashlight from going anywhere. Perfect. The other things, I will probably end up replacing the windshield with just a higher mount, because I am 6 foot with, you know, 6'1", right in there, depending on my shoes I wear. So I'll end up doing a new windshield, and we'll do a test ride on that. Here is another compartment down here, which is where I have the key at the moment. But I can obviously mount a, no, I don't want to put a charger there, that would be stupid. It does come with 4 presets, so if you want to change your riding modes, you want to turn your heat in your seat. I can't speak. And it has heated grips as well, so you can program these to do anything. You could change your, like if you go from street to curvy roads, you could change it to dynamic ride mode just by hitting a button instead of going through the screen. I was farting around with this thing, and I had it on, and I was trying to get the damn thing to open. It would not open. You have to have the key. It's a keyless lock, but if this is on, check this out. Talk about safety and security. Oh, and if you have it running and you put the kickstand down, it immediately kills the bike. This is the heated seat for the rear passenger, low and high. It came with this nice little cushiony bubble seat, which was really nice. So okay, so the bike's on. I have the key in my hand. I'm about ready to rip this thing off. It will not open. But the second you turn the bike off, no problem. Opens right up. Fun little safety thing. Now this has all sorts of nice little modes and things like that. This is basically your mouse, for lack of better, or your trackpad. So you just twist it down. Oh, we don't have a helmet set up, so we can do all sorts of different stuff on here. Let me just kind of go through a few of them. So the menu, you just hit your menu button downward, and it'll take you into each of the settings. and they use your toggle wheel to move it around on all your different stuff. Anyway, your menu back up, and then your toggle wheel to move it over. You hook your telephone, all that good stuff. You tie it into your phone. There's an app for it that you tie into. But raise and lower your windshield automatically. That's pretty awesome. And if you turn it off, it'll automatically go back to the down setting. Cruise control. I mean, this thing has dynamic cruise control, so it will stay a certain distance behind a car, and you've got three selections for that. So far, medium, and close. And it will brake the bike for you. And the braking system on here is all electronic. So if you just wrench on the front brake, it automatically puts 20% of that braking power to the rear wheels. If you're tipped sideways, it's less. So it distributes the braking power to where it will use it most. Obviously, if you're upright, straight up and down, then your front brakes are going to be your best, and it'll distribute 80% of the braking power up there, 20% to the rear. But if you're leaned and you tie your brakes, I believe it splits at 50-50, depending on the lean of the bike. Let's see, what else am I going to do to it? I am not putting speakers in. I'll just listen to stuff in my helmet. I got a helmet on anyway, so I'm not going to hear shit. There is a new product that you have to take this off and use this channel to wire electronics into your blinker, which is tied right up here to your rear view mirror. So you wire into that, and it creates a really bright blinker here. And when it's not on blinker, then it's like a white light that reflects off the bike, which looks really pretty. I've seen it in another video. I might undertake that deal and put those on. I've got the pannier guards. I've got plugs for here and here. I've got 1-inch lowering foot peg mounts coming, because I am 6 foot. So this is kind of you feel like you're on a crotch rocket otherwise. I am not going to do the raised seat, not for any time soon. And let's see, what else? This bike came with awesome tires. They're the Bridgestone Road 5 GTs. I don't know if you can see this tread pattern. The bike came with, from factory, the Road 5s, and these are a top rated tire. The only tire I would change this for is the Road 6 GT. And the GT basically just stands for Grand Touring. They can withstand a whole lot more weight. If you're familiar with that, each of the tires have a rate weighting. This is a 58, so it will hold, I can't remember the exact amount of weight, but it's much more than a non-GT tire. Same thing with the rear. So we can put, the bike is 615 pounds without the trunk. The trunk probably weighs, God, I don't know, 10 pounds maybe. So we're at 625. And then I think the rear tire alone is rated for 850 pounds. I think it has a weight rating of 73, which is the number associated with how much weight you can put on the tire. And they vary between tires and manufacturers. Other than that, all right, let's turn this thing off and talk price. So I went and shopped this bike at local dealership that carries BMWs. And for this bike in a 2024, the trunk does not come with it. The panniers are the engine and pannier guards do not come with it. So when I had them work up a price for that with tax, title, license, all that bullshit, and the trunk and the engine guards, keep in mind I paid $280 for the engine guards, which normally if you buy them from any of the online companies, you're going to spend $900 to $1,000 for those. Now, the bad side of that is that there isn't shit for instructions on these guards. So I'm going to do a detailed video for anybody who wants to only pay $280 on Amazon. Make sure you get them for the right year because they change prior to 2019, I think is the year model that it changes where these apply. So if you have an 18 or below, you're going to have to get a different setup. Anyway, so I had them, like I said, I had them do all the numbers, and out the door, $34,300. And that was like this one, that was one that had the Premier package on it, so it has all the dynamic cruise control, it has all the bells and whistles basically, right? So that base price on that bike, same thing, white, they had a white and a blue one. The blue one was $26,900, the white one was $27 and some change. Then you add tax, title, license. This trunk alone is $1,600, $1,650. The frickin' pad doesn't come with it. Are you fucking kidding me? So you have to buy the pad separately. So with the pad, it's like, it's damn near $1,700 just for the frickin' trunk. And that includes the light with it as well. And the electrical, lock and unlock. So yeah, so like $34,300 out the door. What'd I pay for this one? He was asking $20,000, which is a fair retail price for a bike with higher miles. Keep in mind there's only 3,700 miles on this bike. It's brand new. It's barely, worn in with one oil change, and still has fantastic tires. So the NADA trade-in value for it, for like if a dealer was going to take it in as trade, was $15,000. That didn't seem fair. So I asked him to meet me in the middle. He wanted $20,000, $15,000 was the trade-in value. I paid $17,500 for it. And he slept on it. Good man, like you should. So did I, and I was very happy with it. He's a good guy. He runs one of the airports over here in town, down in Chandler. But he had another bike. He had a GS, I want to say it's an 800. And so he took that. I believe he traded in. I didn't ask him specifically, but he has another one of these too that he does. It's all rigged for police. It's the police version. And he does funeral processions on that bike. But anyway, I think he traded in his other GS 800, and he bought a new GS either 1250 or 1300. So, sorry, car went by. So anyway, so he's happy. He's got his GS. He rides that damn thing to work every day. That's awesome. I think that's about all I got to say about that. So $17,500 for absolutely perfect. No tax, title, license. My bank took care of the title stuff when I financed it. And, so yeah, so I'll have a plate for that in a week or so, and I'm about to do some riding. I've got a new Insta360 camera that I'm going to use on this. That should be interesting. Other than that, you know what to do. Subscribe. Please hit that like button down below. Helps my channel. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon.